Caitlin.
Yes.
I'm Emily.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. I'm the counselor here at E&W Counseling Services.
Okay.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you were referred here by your marriage counselor. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Could you kind of describe to me what it is that first pushed you and your husband towards going to marriage counseling? And
Sure. Well, we just kind of seen better days, my husband and I. We just seem to be fighting about little things all the time.
okay. Would you care to kind of describe to me what those little things are that you have been kind of fighting about in your marriage?
Okay, well, it kind of pretty much everything. Like, he doesn't do the dishes, he doesn't take out the trash, he doesn't make the bed, I do all of the cleaning. He never appreciates me, he never thinks I do a good job. It's almost like nothing I do is good enough, really. And then he just comes home from work and just nitpicks everything I do and always takes a tone with me, and I just kind of react negatively to that, I guess, and it turns into a big fight.
I'd like to start by saying I think it's very encouraging and a good thing that you and your husband have decided to start SWK counseling. Some of the things that have started these fights sound like some of those common concerns that wives have against their husbands, but what would you say is probably the main issue, maybe like the underlying thing that you guys seem to disagree about the most often?
I guess most often our issues tend to have to do with money.
Okay. Would you like to expand on that? Is it that you're spending too much or you're not saving enough?
Yeah, that's probably it. I just tend to spend a little bit too much on personal things, and then he gets frustrated when there's not enough for the bills and that kind of thing.
So as your husband sounds like he's probably the one that handles the money the most and tries to be very responsible with the money, and this is kind of causing some tension, is that right?
Yeah, he's the more mathematic person, I guess, so he kind of does all the budgeting and all that kind of thing, and he kind of, I guess, expects me to support him in that, but I want him to support me when I want to spend money on things that I like clothes and just fun things.
Right. So marriage is supposed to be a teamwork, an exchange of support, and you just kind of feel like that's not happening right now as far as money goes.
Yeah, we just disagree, I guess, on how we should spend our money.
Okay. What kinds of things would he say about your spending that kind of cause some problems within the budget?
I guess he just thinks that I spend too much on clothes and those kinds of things. But I don't really understand why he just doesn't budget for me to spend more on clothes.
Alright, so you like to dress well and you like to spend your money on things that you want to do, and that's just kind of a misunderstanding between you two. Do you think that there's anything that you could change to help relieve the tension that you two seem to have on this particular subject?
I don't know. I don't really want to spend less. So I think he just needs to change his mind on how he budgets.
Okay. Are there some bills that maybe seem to be going unpaid, or maybe some more crucial things that need money, more attention than your shopping or maybe going to the movies or something like that?
Yeah, I guess the last few months we've had to contact my parents and ask them to help us pay the water bill and the gas and electric and all that stuff. So maybe I am spending too much, but that doesn't mean that I want to spend less. So I don't know what to do about that.
It's nice that you have your parents that you can go to for support. That's always great to have another support system there for you. But it seems that kind of makes your husband uncomfortable asking your parents for help, which is understandable. So where do you think that you could cut money that you feel like would be a compromise between you and your husband, if you had to?
Well, if I had to, I guess I could start spending a little less. But still not a very enjoyable thing. I don't think I want to spend less.
So it's not really something that's really you want to do right now. How does it make your husband feel when you guys have little money to spend on things that he wants to spend and you have to ask your parents for help? How do you think he would describe how that makes him feel?
It probably upsets him. Maybe that's why he lashes out when he gets home. If he's like upset about having to ask my parents for money and me spending our money without him.
So it's definitely something that upsets him. How does it make you feel asking your parents for money?
Now that I think about it, I always ask my parents for money. It's just been kind of the way things have been my whole life.
So as you grew up, you just kind of spent a lot of your money as it came in and you never really did much budgeting or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess I never really learned how to kind of be in control of my money because I could just spend it whenever I wanted and ask my parents for money later on.
So you were blessed to grow up in a family where money wasn't really much of an issue, is what it sounds like, and you could just freely spend as it came in. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And you still had your parents as a support then, just as you do now. It's just that things are a little different because you're married, and so that's why it's causing some tension on your marriage.
Yeah, I guess now that I'm older and my husband and I are trying to make it on our own, it would be kind of nice to be able to be independent from my parents.
So you've always just kind of relied on your parents as far as money goes, but now you're thinking that it might be nice to feel independent and to just kind of be in control of your own budget.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, what do you think, you've made it clear that shopping is kind of something that's really important to you, so that's something you don't really want to work on right now, but let's say you could cut something else back, some of your spending. Did you have any ideas about what that could be? Maybe eating out or?
Yeah, we do tend to eat out a lot. My husband and I like to try new foods and new restaurants and stuff like that. But maybe instead of eating out, we could spend less money by buying food at the grocery store and cooking ourselves.
Yeah, I think cooking sounds like a great idea. It's something that'll save you money and you and your husband will still get to work together and do something fun in the kitchen without going out and spending extra money.
Yeah.
Would there be anything else that you would maybe think you could change? Maybe some of your activities that you and your husband do that you could kind of save money on?
Yeah, I guess another thing we like to do is that we like to go to the movies. We're both big movie buffs, so we like to go out and see the new stuff, but maybe we could wait on that and maybe just use Redbox or watch movies with our friends or something at home.
I think that sounds like a great idea. It's kind of taking your activities that you and your husband like to do together and kind of putting a spin on them so you guys can save money. I think that sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we've made a lot of progress today. It's really been nice getting to know you and talking through everything, and I would love to meet with you again maybe next month and just kind of brainstorm some more ideas and see how you're doing. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, I'll see you next month.
Thanks, Emily.